So what I want you to think about is playing music with other people. That's the whole reason I'm doing this playlist. So I could just polish this up, make it all fancy, but I want you to see the truth of it. So drop me a comment if you're enjoying this. What do you want to see? What kind of things do you want to see? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about the guitars I'm going to take. Quick overview of the pedal board. We're going to work on 2 new songs. So we've already worked on Cherub by Smashing Pumpkins. I'll give you a little snippet of that. We've been doing Zombie by the Cranberries. We've been doing Just Like Heaven by The Cure. For some reason, we keep picking bands that have 2 guitar players and a lot of guitar tracks. And we're a 3-piece, bass, drums, guitar, vocals. We are going to work on Say It Ain't So by Weezer today. We did it once or twice last practice. This will probably only be our 3rd or 4th time playing it ever. Challenge for me, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And just kind of do some brief setup. I'll give you Say It Ain't So, the whole track. Again, piece of Cherub by the Pumpkins, a little piece of Zombie. Then I'll wrap it up with our whole game plan after you see the actual rehearsal band practice. All right, so let's quickly go into this guitar. I'm gonna make this my main guitar, but there is a challenge to playing this guitar, which I'm gonna talk to you about in just a second here. And my pedal board right here, which has completely changed because there's one world where we play in a room by ourselves and we think that's how we want it set up, which is fine if you're by yourself, but then there's the real world working situation where you need these tools to perform for you. So let's get into that. Guitars, pedal board, then I will show you the actual songs and then we'll wrap it up. And then again, be as interactive with me as possible. Channel's growing fast. If you're new, would love to keep you. Hit that like button. Help spread the love. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna roll with 2 guitars today. We're gonna go for this Les Paul right here, and then I'm gonna bring the Telly as a backup. Now, one issue with this Les Paul Special, you see how it just has the wraparound tailpiece right there? So I have a compensated one, but this thing can still be a little dicey with the intonation. I usually use this as a recording guitar or for 1 or 2 songs live, but I'm gonna use it for the whole practice today just to see how it does. And so if I have problems with that, we are going to go over to the good old Telly. So, you know, like any other guitar, you know, saddle pieces where I can adjust the intonation, individual saddle pieces like on the Strat. You know, every guitar pretty much has that except for the wraparound tail pieces. So drop me in the comments if you use like a wraparound tail piece guitar, like live, and how you do with it. All right, now over to the pedal board. All right, so if you look at it, I've got the ES8 in the middle. I have the rev, tilt, overdrive. I have the drive and the boost section. That's on the front end. That's not in the loop. So that's why it's down here where I can access it. Then I decided to put the Volante out of the loop, and I just put it as my last piece of gear in the chain. So then I have the plumes on 1, the Rat on 2. Kind of use the plumes as a boost. The bender, I really love in the fuzz on that. So we're using that in the Pumpkins song. Okay, Phase 90, C Machine chorus. I did some programming on the Eventide H9 where I programmed some presets and I dropped them in there. Golden reverb, kind of the main verb. And the UA, Starlight Delay. This is my expression pedal. I have it running into the Eventide H9. And so I have like a wah in there. So I'll see which songs I show you. We'll probably show you all of Say It Ain't So. We'll show you part of maybe Cherub and part of Zombie or something like that. All right, so let's see how this goes. And then I'll wrap up at the end how it actually, this guy right here actually performed. Because I do, sorry about the shadowing, the sound of P90s are amazing, okay? So let's head over to the practice and have some fun. All right, so before I go over and jam with these guys, you heard what I said about this guitar, this wraparound tailpiece. If you play these or you've used these, let me know. Did you use it for a whole set, just specific songs? I just happen to love this Gibson LP. P90s, man, P90s, these are just incredible pickups. You gotta have at least 1 or 2 guitars with P90s in it, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. All right, kids, let's go to band practice. I'm trying not to back into anything as I'm pulling out of my big garage. So remember, we are working on Say It Ain't So by Weezer, and we are going to keep working on Man Who Sold the World, the David Bowie song that Nirvana covered. We're gonna keep doing Cherub by the Pumpkins, the Zombie by the Cranberries. We have Just Like Heaven by The Cure. swear we have another one. But anyways, drop me comments, drop me questions. Like, got all my gear in here. There it is. I'm going to take 2 guitars. Let's see how the old Les Paul Special performs. I think it's going to do okay. Fingers crossed. Let's see. See you in the jam. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Piece of Cherub Rock, that's the song we've practiced the most. You want these songs to start to become automatic, where you don't have to think about it. Again, the Pumpkins have like 40 guitar players in their band. No, I think they added that girl, don't know her name, but I think that's 3 with Billy, Eha, and then the new girl in the band. So a lot of guitars. I have to pick the most important parts. I think it sounds pretty killer though. Again, that's just a real raw vocal in the room. All the audio you're going to see is through my iPhone. You will notice that Fritz moved his kit into a different location. We kind of try to figure out our setup in that room. It's a bit tight, and thank God they put air conditioning in that place. All right, here's a little piece of Cherub Rock. Okay, so I thought this guitar sounded pretty killer on that track. I was pretty stoked on how it sounded, how it performed. That one's starting to become more automatic, getting more comfortable with the vocal arrangements. Now, here's the full track of Say It Ain't So by Weezer. Real quick preface to this before you go in. Rivers does not play what I'm playing on the guitar, right? He has his other guitar player playing those offbeat parts. You'll notice there's the part goes, this way, so what a side of what, that real mouthful part in one of the verses where he says something about a water slide. I had to work on that and kind of alter my playing to fit the vocal phrasing because there was no way I was going to pull that off with just staying to the offbeats. But it actually turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. Pay attention for that part. Solo, I did a little piece of one of the guitar fills. Again, I'm singing and playing guitar in a 3-piece. Whereas they got 2 guitars, bass, drums, vocals, so I don't have the extra support of that other guitar player playing the parts. All right, so here's that whole track. Let me know what you think, the good, bad, and ugly. Here we go. Okay, so what'd you think of that? That one, the guitar held up pretty well. And I'll go more into what about this guitar in the wrap up, but that was Say It Ain't So. So we're gonna keep working on those little nuances of the song. If you did notice, I tried to get those little bends, like I tried to figure those out briefly. I didn't even think about that, but again, that's what you do. That's what you guys need to see in these little behind the bands things, that you just keep progressing. It's like anything, right? When you start learning guitar, you don't get great right away. You have to practice. You have to have a system in place to get better. And I actually did a whole video on that yesterday, which I'll drop to help you become a better player. All right, real quick. This is just a little midsection freestyle part in Zombie. We had to tune up to standard tuning. We were tuned flat, E flat, for all the other songs, but Bernadette wanted to raise it up half step to fit her vocal range a little better. And check that out, and then we'll just do a whole wrap up. And again, give me your comments, questions, suggestions. Let me know what's working for you. All right, here we go. All right, so what'd you think? Again, that's just kind of a real world example of what happens in a band rehearsal, right? You're trying to figure out how to play with each other. You're trying to figure out the frameworks of songs. So then we had to kind of talk about a game plan. So here's what we're gonna do next, which I'll try and shoot footage. So this room at my house, they live in my neighborhood. I told them they should come over. Fritz should bring a snare drum, a hi-hat, and some brushes. Bernadette will bring her bass. I'll play my acoustic, and we need to work on the vocal arrangement. So when you're in full electric band rehearsals, it gets kind of loud. So it's just easier to communicate in a lower dynamic situation and really work on vocal layers, because we're in a three-piece. So if you're going to play in a three-piece, which I did for years and toured in one, you want to work on those, like your vocal arrangements have to take it up the next step, because you only have a three-piece, right? To a guitar, bass, and drums. So you want your vocals to go top notch. So we're gonna do that to improve. Challenges of the songs, again, just the vocals and trying to figure out all the nuances of the parts. One day we might actually pick a song where the band is a true three-piece or just one guitar player. So we'll see. Figuring out which songs we're gonna play in standard, which ones we're gonna play flat. The LP special held up pretty well. I probably would not play this guitar for a whole set. I don't really want to worry about it intonating, but I'm going to take it to a luthier, get their opinion on it. Again, I put the compensated tailpiece on it. But if you guys have any suggestions, you guys that play wraparound tailpieces, are you guys playing these for like a full set? Are you playing them for one or two songs? You know, I kind of want to have my main guitar. Maybe I'll bring this as like just for one or two tracks, but we'll see. But for the most part, it did okay. And again, next steps, just keep practicing, keep moving forward. So what I told them, when you want to play your first show, well, probably I said, let's get 10 covers really solid. After we get 10 where I think and they think that they sound killer, then we need to play like a gig here at my house, maybe invite 20, 30 friends over and set it up real live playing situation. Because you're not stage set up in a rehearsal. You're not looking at the drummer like this. He'll be looking at my back, okay? And her back. So we'll be looking out at the crowd, get both PA speakers set up. Fritz did run some tracks live into Logic, so that was kind of interesting. I'll see if I can get you some of that footage in the future moving forward. Okay, and if you have any tips or tricks that you want to, throw my way that you do, let me know. I've been doing this for years, so I have a pretty good idea, but that's how we learn. We learn from each other. Any songs you want us to do, any song suggestions, any questions. But again, this whole playlist is just to inspire you to grow as a musician by going out and playing with others. Don't worry about how good you are. And you know what? Number one, play with people that you like, that you enjoy. Don't hang around people that are not cool. I mean, there's just no excuse for that. I would never put up with that. And there's just such a better way to handle it. And you're all going to be a little bit on different skill levels. So try and be that person that lifts everyone up and like glues the band together. It's a marriage, right? It's a marriage of like minds. So you have to be able to work as a collaborator. And you have to do it in a way without just going in like a bull in a china shop. All right, check out the links in the description. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. Channel's growing fast. If you're new, I'd love to keep you. Again, hit that like button. You guys know the whole YouTube drill. And what I would always say, only you can stop you. So don't stop. Keep going. See you in the next video. Later.